Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's start off with something that's a big misnomer that we usually say, but we don't really put a lot of thought into it. In fact, I say it. I'm guilty of saying it myself without good reasoning. So we're talking boxing. Sometimes we say, oh, he didn't throw enough punches. Or you hear a trainer say, throw more punches, throw more punches. Now, let me break that down a little bit. First things first. When a boxer or fighter throws more punches, let me show you something here. Let me show you a clip from Pero Angulo versus, I think it's James DeGale. You see Pero Angulo working the body, and DeGale, he's suffering from those body punches. A lot of body punches happened in this fight. Angulo actually did very well in this fight. Now they say, oh, he should throw more punches. Okay, let me go back to what I was doing. First and foremost, every time you throw a punch, you leave a hole for your opponent, if he's in good position, if he's at a good angle, to counter you. So what's more important than throwing punches? And this is a fundamental thing you guys need to understand in boxing. If you haven't boxed before, it's not as simple as throwing punches, because your opponent is also going to be throwing punches. And you have to be careful about stuff coming back at you. Because the guy, he's trying to knock you out with his punches. And he's not trying to miss. So if you're in the line of fire when you throw a punch and a punch hits you, it can light you out. Alright, there's so many things to boxing. First thing you need to know is if you do get hit, to anticipate that shot and roll it. If you don't, and you stay stationary and your chin and your head is in a fixed position on your body, you receive the full power of a shot, and more than likely you're going to get knocked out and probably badly damaged. Okay, so let me go into this thing. Oh, he should throw more punches. If you see a boxer and he's in the ring, he was sparring, whatever, and he was throwing a lot of punches. When he goes into the ring, he's not throwing as many punches as before. You have to think about what he's seeing in the ring. A lot of trainers tell their boxers, do this, do that, but they're not paying attention to what the boxer is seeing in the ring. And if you ask the boxer, what do you see, and he gives you feedback, I think now you can give him better advice. Remember, what a boxer seeing in the ring is not the same thing we're seeing from afar off. We can see it at angles where we can see the entire thing. The boxer's up close, so he's seeing things coming at him. Okay? So let me break down throw more punches. The first thing is, in boxing, the last thing you want to do is throw the same punch repeatedly throughout a fight. Why? Because you become predictable. And any boxer worth their salt who realizes you can see a pattern in your behavior, they're going to exploit that. They're going to use a move. It's just like in any martial art. They're going to use a move to counter that move and to get an advantage over you. And all of these things happen in split seconds. The other thing is you can't only be thinking offense. If you look at Pero Angulo, for instance, in this fight, he has a defense that's really good. He has a high guard defense, and a lot of times when you think James DeGale is hitting him, he's actually catching the shots or blocking them. He has a good guard. Okay, if I could slow this down in slow motion. See, DeGale just hit his guard twice there. Angulo has a damaged eye. Okay. Notice he's ducking, blocking, moving his body a certain kind of way to get the shots in to this guy's body. All of those shots, the intention is to hurt James DeGale. DeGale is hitting Pero Angulo's guard quite a lot. Angulo is using an angle to get the jab off and then to get those shots to DeGale's body. And as flashy as DeGale is, Angulo's actually mauling him and breaking him down to the body. Okay? I have to give Angulo a lot of credit for this fight. But the point I'm making is that you don't throw a shot so that somebody can counter you and knock you out. You have to throw a shot bearing in mind that somebody is going to throw a shot back at you. That's why the most important thing before throwing shots in boxing is moving your head. Move your head. Do not stay in the direct line of fire so that someone can punch you like a punching bag. The second thing is, and they say it all the time, protect yourself at all times. At all times. All boxers who are worth their salt at the level that you see on TV know how to protect themselves at all times. That's why they don't get knocked out, a lot of them. And that's why a lot of them last as long as they do. Whether they last a round, 2 rounds, that's the reason. Now, the third most important thing, and so they train you how to protect yourself at all times. Pero Angulo uses the come forward style with the high guard, protects his body and his head, catches most of the shots. He can move his hands to the side because he's not very fast, okay? He moves his hands to the side and puts on the air muffs when guys do counters, and then he closes it off to the middle, okay? So a lot of shots he can catch when he puts his palms to the front, when he rolls them back to the back. He's using them as defense. He can catch them with his palms to the front. Sometimes he slides to the side. He kind of puts his body at an angle and catches shots. This is the Mexican way of fighting. So a lot of times when you think those are headshots that Pero Angulo's getting, he's actually catching those shots. He moves back and he goes low and he catches them. Okay? Alright, so there's a lot of subtle things in boxing. And when you start to look at boxing, you can see these things. But you see, because you're so far away, you're not really in close to the action. You can't really see what the boxer's actually doing. Another thing that's very important in boxing, when you're throwing punches, bend your legs. Not only bending your legs is good for leverage in throwing a punch, but it's also very good for being able to move out of the way of shots thrown, also be able to buffer or to dampen a punch. So even if you do get hit, because you bend your legs and moved backward and rolled your head and rolled your body, you're able to deflect and also take off some of the power off of a punch. That's all I got to say for now.